2 minutes, everybody. 2 minutes. And this is what happens on the beach every time we're 2 minutes away. She walks away from the show. Where did she go? Can you guys, is sound okay? Sound okay? Thank you for coming, sir. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you coming to Hooked Island Grill. The food here is fabulous, in case you didn't know. Sit down. You brought them. I told Marie to see which one you want, and then I'll get the right size.
The cups are funny. The adding up of the cups.
You thought that was funny?
I mean, I don't really like it, but it was funny.
They did promote our page, so it's not like it's that negative. Hey,
we're doing.
You're gonna be here after the show, so we could try and talk about setting up to have you come on.
Sure.
You're gonna be here long enough? Okay.
Yeah. See where everybody is.
You guys, the mayor and those guys were
That's
over there.
it. Thank you.
You ready? Here we go.
Let's do it at our house.
You guys, tell me if it's too loud. You guys, ready?
This is Cape Coral Talk Radio. And now, broadcasting live from Hooked Island Grill in the heart of downtown Cape Coral, here are the hosts of Cape Coral Talk Radio, Kim and Ed Ryan.
Thank you very much. We've trained another crowd to applaud for us for no apparent reason when the show starts, but thank you all for coming to Hooked Island Grill for episode number 4. We have another fabulous show lined up for you tonight. And if you see us gathering all the stuff before the show ends and just throwing everything into a box and running outside and driving at 100 miles an hour, it's because we're on baby watch now. Am I allowed to say that? Last night was a false alarm, and we thought maybe last night was the night. We're in any day now territory. So, and it's not her. She's not having a baby, in case you were wondering.
Well, if that were the case, somebody should either call the Pope or the National Enquirer, because
why would you call the Pope?
Because it was Immaculate Conception.
Oh, I see. I'm not one right over my head. So, all right. We have the Youth Council. How many members of the Cape Coral Youth Council did you bring with you, Jennifer? It looks like you have about a dozen over there, their own table there. We appreciate you guys coming out. And what we have going on tonight is we are going to do the drawing for the Pink Shell Weekend, which is a 3-day, 2-night stay at the beautiful Pink Shell, which is on Fort Myers Beach. And we're going to do the drawing, and we were selling $20 raffle tickets with a full, all the money going to the Youth Council, which we're going to do the drawing right after Jennifer's interview. And they're going to Washington, D.C., but Jennifer will explain it all when she comes up here. So without...
Did you ever go to Washington, D.C., like on an 8th grade trip? That was a big thing.
I've been to Washington, D.C.
I mean, but we're from up
but
near
not
there.
not in the 8th grade.
No, we're not from there, but you didn't ever go? You had a crappy high school?
No, I don't think I ever went on a field trip that far away. We went to like the zoo down the street, and that was at somebody's house where they had like pets in their house. It wasn't really a real zoo.
It wasn't like Lion King.
No, it wasn't like, what was the name of that TV show, the lion tiger thing?
It was Tiger King.
Tiger King.
That guy was a wackadoodle.
Yes. Thank you all for coming to Hooked Island Grill. Welcome. Good thing it's not hot outside when they open the door.
It's nice. it's nice and
Shop
cool
in your
outside.
So the other thing is I want to thank my wife for the big surprise birthday
Oh, that's
party she
right.
pulled off last Sunday when we were leaving the beach at La Ola. We saw all of our friends down there, and you totally got me on that one.
I got you good. That
Yeah.
was like
Very nice job.
monumental to pull off. I
Yes.
wouldn't suggest doing it, but it was well worth it.
And I had no
I did the whole
clue.
video. I figured out I'm old.
Yeah.
So technology is above my head. And I was able to figure out how to load pictures up into a video and then I had audio clips that people sent me. Now he's home all the time. So I would be pretending that I was taking a class online and then switch between Canva and a class because he would walk by. I never had a moment's sleep. I haven't slept in like a month now. So, but
Yeah.
he's 60 and now I'm 80 thanks
Yeah.
to planning that party.
But that was lovely. Nice job. I had no idea. So enough about us. Nobody cares about us, dear. The reason they're here is to see our guests. And our first guest today is one of your council members of 8. It's Jennifer Nelson-Lastra. Come on down, Jennifer. Jennifer, you don't need to applaud for yourself. There's plenty of people out there that will applaud for you.
I
So
feel
you're
like
coming
we
around.
should start a like.
No, we're over here, Jennifer.
Conga
The
line,
show's
where
over
you
here,
just-
Jennifer. Where are you going? I want to thank some
She's
of the
got
other.
to put in her
Watch
thing
your
there.
step here. All right. Yes, and if you want to buy
She's
a
on
raffle
3.
ticket for the giveaway, please raise your hand. Marie will come over. She's part of our team. All right, Jennifer, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm
Thank you for coming on.
recovering from a bit of a flu, and I'm much better than I was. I know I'm on antibiotics and steroids, no fever for 24 hours. I shouldn't be contagious.
Yes, and yesterday when I watched the council meeting, I've never heard you say so few words
I
at a
know.
council meeting than the
Were
one.
you like under the were you
I
feeling
was
it
so
then?
under the weather. I really hadn't planned on having to speak, but I felt compelled 3 times to speak, so I spoke.
So
And
Jennifer, tell us this is not your first time on the city council, correct?
no, not my first rodeo.
So what is your history on the council?
So I ran back in 2017 and served from 2017 until 2022. And then I got beat. If y'all remember the woman that was removed by the governor, the Lord teaches us you reap what you sow. But anyway, I got beat by her. And so I was no longer on council. So I was off council for 2 years. And it was actually a really great experience. I learned a lot about myself. I had just gone through Ian along with the city. I lost the roof over my kitchen, my daughter's windows in our house, and had a lot of like rebuilding I needed to do. And I really felt like not only did I need to rebuild my house, but I kind of needed to re-identify myself because I was always Jen Nelson on council, and then I wasn't anymore. And I will honestly say it was the best 2 years because I met the love of my life and my soulmate, Nelson-Lastra. We got married
Wow.
last year.
Wow.
And had I
See,
been on council,
I just have to say that's what you say when you're a relative newlywed.
We don't-
After 30 years, you're like,
Yeah.
this guy.
sleep-
It's this guy over here. So
sleep
it's
on the
so nice
couch.
to hear.
I know, and had I been on council, I truly don't think I would have paid him any mind. Mayor
Wow.
knows, and some of our other former council team members knows.
Because you had no
I
time.
never really dated per se, and I was always kind of a committophobe and definitely a marriage phobe. And I met this man. I opened the door at my sister-in-law's house, now sister-in-law's house, and it was like, you know, the saying when people are always like, when you know, you know. I never believed that.
Yeah.
Never. I am a native Texan, and, you know, we do have a history of collecting husbands like diamonds. And
you have no
idea.
idea what
Yeah.
that is.
We were talking about
This
the
is
council. How the hell are we
hook 'em
on your
horns.
personal life like
So,
this? Can we-
because she
So,
went to
anyway-
the University of Austin, right?
Texas in
At
Austin.
Austin.
Yes, I'm a devout
So.
Longhorn fan. And anyway, so I met my husband, and so it was the best 2 years ever. And I got a lot of interest in the last election to run for the special election for 2 years remaining of the seat, and I did it. And I'm really glad that I did it because it proved to me that I wasn't done. God wasn't finished with me, I guess, in this role. And it's been an adventure this time around.
So your 2 years are up next year.
Correct.
Are you running again?
Absolutely.
Yes.
District 4.
You're running for District 4. You're
Yep.
not running for mayor, are you?
No, sir.
Okay.
No,
Didn't
no.
you say some people were asking you to run for
A
mayor?
lot of people were asking me to run for mayor.
What's a lot of people? How many is a lot?
I would say probably random people I run into in the group, maybe 100, maybe 100, a little more than 100. Everywhere I went, meetings, out in the community, running into people at Publix.
Yeah.
They'd say, you really need to run for mayor. And I'm like, do I really need to? No. I mean, look at our poor mayor. You know, he
Yeah.
makes, I don't know, 4,000 more than we do. And he gets all the flack and all the blame and all the, you know, so.
You'd rather he had the blame than you.
No, I mean, John has broad shoulders, and I guess so do I. But no, I'm really happy in my seat. I have the old golf course coming up, which is a huge win for my district. We've been trying to purchase that since, I believe, 2011, since before me. And the opportunities that we have there are going to be amazing.
Okay, so don't jump ahead on the question.
sorry.
Sarah.
I'm sorry.
Please,
So,
don't get out of order because
I know.
he's going to lose it here.
Obviously, the first question is you guys had another meeting yesterday about the mobility fees, and you were one of the holdouts. You needed 6 votes to. I don't want to get into the weeds about the whole mobility fees, but you needed 6 votes. You again only had 5, and you were one of the ones that were opposed to it. Why are you opposed to the plan that the staff put together to go from impact to mobility and give future councils the flexibility to raise them?
I think future councils will still have the ability to increase them to a point. That was not my issue. My issue always from the beginning was what happens in year 5. So for example, in my district, District 4, which is back this way, we have the roads, we have the infrastructure, we have utilities, we have water, we have sidewalks, we have street lights, and any resident that would come and want to build in my district would go from paying $3,300 basically to, in year 5, almost $12,000.
But
And
you
to
don't-
me, that's a huge
But you don't
jump.
know that for sure.
I don't know that for sure, which is exactly why I feel like an even structured approach, consistent approach of 12 and a half every year
Yeah.
was good for me.
But now you can't really go to the mobility fees and give the future council flexibility unless there's an 8-0 vote, which is harder than you couldn't even get 6. So Rachel, I think, was one of the ones that flipped because she was saying last night that she felt like you should trust future councils, that they're not going to let it go from, whatever to $12,000. You didn't buy that?
Well, I mean, not necessarily. So Rachel and I spoke last night after the meeting. We met, and I love Rachel. She's very direct and she's very blunt, which I appreciate.
Mhm.
I think, for me, and what I explained to her was like what I said on the dais, where everybody complains during election season. They always complain about, oh, everything falls on the ad valorem taxes. And they're right. 90% of our money comes from ad valorem taxes. So if you do such a hike in fees, it's almost like we're going to deter potential development from coming. And for me, that's a real issue because I want to do everything we can to get that commercial tax base up. And that's why I was a no vote. And I explained to Rachel, I said, we're all about the people. Because she kept saying, well, I'm voting with the people and the people and the people, and I'm about the people. We're all about the people. We are elected by the people. But I guess for me, I look at it from the other 200 emails I got on the other side of the issue, which was that's a crazy hike. That's a crazy increase. And I think in 4 years, we keep it at 12.5%. And she told me last night, she's like, Jen, let's be so for real. The chances of getting a unanimous vote is going to be extremely hard. And I said, not really. If you have a good council that's cohesive, like we had in the past, GT, Gloria Tate, my homegirl over there, she was on our last council. We had a very cohesive council. And there were more times when we agreed than we had disagreed. And we got a lot done in those 5 years.
So-
Do you think though that in the future you'd get 8 people to vote another big hike?
I think in the future, we'll have to look at what that looks like. I mean, for us, we don't know what those costs are going to be, right?
Because it hasn't been done for the last 20. Right.
Correct. And so we're going on what our, like Rachel stated so eloquently, a study of another study and a study. And we're going to do another study. In 4 years, we're going to be required to do another study and look at what we have prioritized now, what we've just finished, what has been accomplished, and what needs to happen moving forward. Plus, none of us have a crystal ball. We don't know if the housing market's going to improve or not. But how cool would it be if the city didn't have to rely so much on the housing market and ad valorem taxes to be able to fund everything we want to do? Let's get that commercial tax base in here. You have residents who complain out of one side of their mouth about, we don't have enough commercial tax base. Everything comes from one source. And then on the other side of the mouth, they're complaining about, Bimini East being developed or Seven Islands. And you're like,
So
which is it?
before we move on to other topics, what do you say to the residents who now have gotten the impression that they're going to have to pay more in their millage because you didn't raise the impact fees high enough to cover, I know you're not going to try and cover the whole 2 billion. Maybe that number's too high and there are projects that come off that list, but they feel like, some of them have told me they feel like they're going to have to pay a higher millage rate to cover some of that cost. Is that
the only reason they would have to pay a higher millage rate is if we as a council majority voted to do that. And I can firmly say that me and a lot of my current council team members and past have never, ever wanted to increase the millage rate.
Okay, fair enough. So you don't raise the millage rate and you have a piddly little raise in the mobility fees. How do you pay for the projects?
Well, like I said, we don't have a crystal ball, right? Yeah. There could be other ways. Look at last night. We found $3 million in 2 minutes on the dais. Councilmember Long goes in.
That sounds like an Easter egg.
He does the rollback rate as a motion. We all approve it because boom, we had $3 million. We had 1.3 from a grant that we got, and when somebody else reported another 2, and we're like, okay, here we go. We only needed $2 million to roll it back. Boom, it's done.
Well,
there's opportunities. We just have to look.
It was 7-1. It wasn't everybody voted. Councilmember Donnell did.
Yeah,
vote yes.
Bless him. Yeah, I know.
All right. So enough of the.
That sounded like a bless your heart kind of statement.
It's a total bless your heart thing. Yes.
And that's a Southern thing,
he
just
wanted
in general.
He wanted a whole nother point, is what I heard last night.
Yes,
so.
He did. He did.
Go ahead, dear. I was monopolizing the interview.
I mean, you went through everything.
No, I
so.
Oh.
Are you happy with the way citizens input is being done now?
That's one thing I will honestly say I am happy. We have committed, several of us on the dais, that in December we're going to look at the numbers. We're going to evaluate it. But let me tell you what I've learned doing it this way. Being able to have business start at 4 p.m. and make billion, million, $100 million decisions before 8 o'clock is refreshing. My mind is fresh. I'm able to ask questions earlier with my meeting with the city manager. I'm able to say, okay, this is all my research. And the way it used to be, we weren't dealing with business sometimes until 7 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like we're fresher. The one thing I wish we could have all reached consensus on was adding that citizens input back to the consent agenda. So having it prior to the consent agenda items like we did way back when Mayor Coviello was still alive. But, my council decided not to. The mayor still calls every ordinance. He'll call for people to speak on the ordinance. So they still get an opportunity to speak before we vote on a regular agenda item. And having citizens input at the end really, to me, has been a blessing because my focus is there, writing everything down, what they're saying, and being able to address them sometimes one by one. To me, I just think it's fresher. And that came because I know last time when we ran last year, that was traffic and citizens input from the younger generation of voters were the 2 biggest complaints I received. And I knocked on over 2,200 doors. And the younger generation of no, I lost a lot of weight. I look good. I was tan. And being able to hear what they're saying And like me, I work across the bridge. If I don't get across that bridge by 5 o'clock, forget it. I'm not walking in the door till 7 o'clock
Right.
because I'm coming from downtown Fort Myers over the bridge during season. They have the same issue. Now, one would argue, several who come regularly would argue, well, where are all these younger voters? Well, we had a few. We had a young man show up who was really concerned about the parking ordinance. He was concerned about, we're changing the commercial vehicle parking ordinance. And we had to explain to him. And he was so grateful that he had time to come over the bridge and be able to speak his piece on it. And we were able to clarify for him. So we had one that I know. But I think, it's an opportunity for those of us that work across the bridge to be able to get there and not have to worry about being there right at 5:30. We can get there at 6, 7, 7:30 and know that we're going to be heard. Plus, as the mayor always points out on the dais, we have so many opportunities to meet with your council members. I mean, I probably meet with 3 residents a week personally, one-on-one, either in my office or at Starbucks or somewhere they want to go. And I'll take notes on what we talk about. Now we have the e-comment cards. We're able to respond back to those. The e-comments that come prior to the meeting, we're able to respond to those. So there's many opportunities.
No, I think, and Ed has talked about this, about the fact that a lot of municipalities don't have the opportunity where you guys sitting up there on the dais are able to address the concerns that come up.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know what your meeting has become?
and I know we bring this up and we got flack about it.
Therapy.
Well, they don't, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, there is that opportunity where
There
you
is.
guys do.
It seems to me
Other places, they just go, uh-huh.
your meeting has
Uh-huh.
become the town council communicates back and forth with Shadrach. It's you and Shadrach. It's you
All
and Shadrach.
right.
It seems
Be
like
nice,
every
be
single
nice.
public comment comes from it, and you guys respond.
Well,
I'm not saying anything negative. I'm just saying.
I mean, hats off to Mr. Shadrach and some of the others who come constantly.
Now, do you think?
Because they come constantly. They come,
Yeah.
and that, at least with Shadrach, he comes with facts, figures. Sometimes we have to correct him, and he's open to that. But
Yeah.
at least he's coming there with a real concern, with researched information. Sometimes it's correct, sometimes it's not, but he gives us an opportunity to correct it.
And he stands around and waits for the comment. He
Yes.
doesn't just say
No.
something and leave.
And
right
some of
after
the
that.
other individuals who come, they're angry, right? I mean, I remember, I think it was my first or second council meeting back, and there was a gentleman, he's now passed away, who was screaming about JC Park and just screaming and screaming. And I responded to him in my opportunity and said, sir, I don't know what you're saying. You are so angry and you are so upset, but I don't know what you're asking of us. So if you could just dial it back, and respect is given where respect is shown. And if you could dial it back and calmly explain, the next meeting, he came and did exactly that. And then we met, and then we called each other, and then he passed away. And we
Oh,
were
wow.
BFFs by the end.
Oh, that's
So
sad.
it was unfortunate.
So
but-
do you think Shadrach is going to run again for something? Has
Oh,
he
I don't-
told you that?
no.
You guys chat, right?
No,
So-
I don't know, honestly. I don't. I know that his wife, I ran into her, my mom and I ran into her a couple months ago at Publix, and
Yeah.
she said, there's no way I'm not doing, because my mom said, well, didn't your husband run? And she said, yeah, he's not doing it again. It was too much. It was
Yeah.
too stressful.
Gotcha.
So
I
Now-
think somebody else's wife said that to them, and they ended up running anyway.
Yeah, he's
so.
not paying
Yeah.
attention.
Now,
So how much money do you need to raise to run a campaign in Cape Coral?
Well, to give you an idea, if you want to hit most of the voters, super voters, you're going to spend, I know last year, we spent around 18,000 a mailer
Yeah.
to be able to touch
Wow.
about 75,000 households.
Papers.
So, if you think of it, or 75,000 people. So if you think of it in those terms, yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Because you want to do a mailer, if you're primaried and you have individuals in the primary, which, if you have more than 3, we're nonpartisan. So if you have more than 2, you're going to be in a primary. So
Oh.
you're going to have to put out mailers for the prior to the primary. When the mail-in ballots go out, you're going to have to do it again for the general. You might have to do one in the middle. So, I mean, that's almost 60 grand right there.
So nobody has
Oh.
announced for your seat yet, have they?
No, they have
I'm
not.
looking because we have all the candidates lined up, but I don't see anybody for your seat. So
No, I'll be probably filing next week in
Okay.
October is my plan. The reason I want to go ahead and do it prior to the end of the year so that I can plan a kickoff for the beginning of the year to be able to generate funds, to be able to start
Yeah.
raising money.
So good thing he's not here tonight. So can you give us an idea how you
Wait,
think?
I was just gonna segue into that, but go
What?
ahead.
Yeah, that's my question every week. So
What?
But she
What is-
brought him up.
yeah,
so.
what can you tell us about the job you think the city manager's doing?
I think the city manager is doing a great job. I think Gloria Tate probably said it best last week when she said the difference with this city manager and the others, really, I mean, I've served now with 3, and is that this city manager started as a laborer. So he started from the bottom up. If anybody takes care of his staff, it's going to be this guy. I have not seen that in the past with the 2 others that I've worked with, like I've seen with this gentleman. And in all honesty, you know, we had a very frank conversation after my town hall 2 weeks ago. And, you know, do we all have opportunities? Absolutely. You know, are there things that I think he can do better? Absolutely.
Name one.
I think the way, okay, fair. Mike knows. We talked about
He's
it.
over there taking notes on his napkin.
Nah.
I think for
He already
me,
knows.
my biggest critique was public comment. Being able to handle the public in a very professional way, in a way, not saying that he's not professional, but really being able to handle that, not get defensive, and be able to address it, but in a very professional way.
You mean handle the jackasses in a professional way?
I
Is
didn't
what
say
you
that
mean?
word, you did. I'm
that's
just saying.
Because I mean, why else would you need to handle?
Well, I mean, and that's a challenge, right? Because you have people that come weekly. I mean, you see it on Facebook. They attack. I mean, I had a guy last night who wrote on Facebook, somebody run against Jennifer Nelson because she's an idiot. And I'm like, hey, dude, you're going to call me an idiot? Okay. Hi, sir. I saw your comment. I'm so sorry you feel that way about me. Would you like an opportunity to meet so we can speak face to face? And that guy had the guts, excuse me,
That's right.
to be able to say, yes, I would very much like that. 90% of those residents don't do it.
Can I come to that?
90% don't.
But see, that's the thing. When someone says, "Oh, you're an idiot," or "Oh, blah blah blah,"
Your
it's
hair's
like,
too brown, you wear too
right,
much makeup, you
give-
need to lose
give
weight,
some- well,
you're too
give
tall.
no, give some specifics about what that's just like such a random negative thing. Like, what do
Agreed.
you have to complain about that we can actually engage in a debate about? Because
Agree.
that is really not a thing.
No, it's an opinion. And
that's
tell me
right.
why. I speak 3 languages. I'm trilingual. I did go to college.
You
so
speak 3 languages.
I do.
What are the other 2?
I speak Dutch and I speak Indonesian.
Indonesian.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't see
Wow.
those 2 coming out.
My
What?
mom is Indonesian. My
Okay.
father was white. He was of Scottish Irish descent.
Wow.
And
Huh.
he was in the army. Fancy that. Shocker.
The Indonesian army or the
No,
American army?
he was a major in the United States Army. He served in Vietnam. He met my mom in California after she immigrated here. And she was actually a translator. My mother's amazing. She's 87. She speaks
Wow.
5 languages.
5.
She was a translator for the Army and met my dad.
I speak
Wow.
4 languages, but it was a lot of
You
work.
barely speak 1.
Thank you. So the JC Park, let's talk about JC Park.
Okay.
What is your thought on what took place at JC Park? Are you in favor of the changes? What would you like to say to the neighborhood surrounding JC Park? Things like that. And why is it taking forever?
So I've always said, I don't think it's taking forever.
I'm
I
sorry.
think honestly, we're on schedule and we're hoping to be done by the end of February. I believe the contract state that the contractor has until April, but I truly feel confident that it's going to be done soon because they've moved very quickly in that park. My opinion on JC Park is it was an old park. I used to take my daughter there when she was 3 and 4 in 2008 and 2009. We would walk the park. We would play on the near the water. We'd play chase, and those sidewalks and roads were bumpy back then, and it needed to be updated. You know, I was not on council when all of those changes happened. I was not on council when it went off the rails to certain residents. However, looking at the videos, the plans, it's going to be a beautiful park no matter what. And like I explained to the JC Park group prior to the primary last year, I said you have one more vote. If the P3 concessionaires agreement gets approved by council, nobody's going to be able to go back and change that, because that would entail legal issues, lawsuits, millions of dollars potentially that we would waste of taxpayer dollars. And I'm not going to do that. And I was very honest with that group, and they didn't necessarily like it, but I was honest.
You need a glass of water or something, or you're
No, I'm probably I'm
hot.
probably breaking a fever.
It is
Sorry.
kind of hot in this
I know,
corner
sorry.
here.
It is
You feel
so
all right?
hot.
Yeah, I do.
All right, I just want to make sure you're okay.
The steroids and the antibiotics are kicking in.
Oh, the
so-
steroids will do it.
So, you gonna ask any questions?
Were you
tonight,
gonna
or
let me in there?
participate in the interview?
Oh
Come on.
my God. So why do you think it's important for the council to oversee the CRA?
Oh, here it comes.
I don't. Hi, my love.
The
Thank you.
rescue.
I don't.
See, that's what a husband does.
You could have ironed your shirt before you came out. I mean, geez, look at it.
His shirt is ironed.
Huh? Is it wrinkly like that? Just kidding.
What did you?
What?
You
I was just joking
About
around
the
here. You can take a
CRA.
joke.
Why is
CRA.
it important?
At
I'm
first,
gonna shut your mic.
I mean,
up.
I'm from 5 years serving where we had a volunteer CRA board. At first, my feeling was I don't live in the CRA. I don't own a business in the CRA. I don't want to make decisions for the CRA, right? I don't. Normally, we would always appoint whoever was in District 1. They would be the CRA liaison, and they would be able to give feedback to that because the CRA was always in District 1. As I've been on council now almost a year back, I see it both ways. I see the importance of council being able to come in and be able to designate CRA dollars for specific businesses, being able to make multi-million-dollar decisions that maybe, we had people on the CRA board before who weren't used to that. But I loved having the CRA volunteer board. If I'm going to be 1,000% honest, I did, because those individuals worked in the CRA, or they lived in the CRA, or they had businesses in the CRA. I was a little nervous being the CRA board, and I'm still, I think for me, I understand it from both sides, but if I had my druthers, I'd give it back.
So let's be honest for a second.
Here
Just
we
us
go.
kids. Who is your favorite council member? Like out of the other 7, who would you consider today? Who's your favorite council member?
Who's here today?
They're all my favorites
No, you
for
have to pick
different
one.
reasons.
Yes, pick one.
She doesn't have to listen to you at all.
They are all my favorites for different reasons. Kaduki, because she is so irreverent sometimes and blunt. I respect that about her. Our mayor, you will not find a better researcher among any council member I've ever sat with.
Are you glad he's running again?
I actually am.
Good.
I actually am.
Yeah. Who is
Yeah.
your least favorite council member?
Oh,
If you were
for
on
the
a
love
if
of
you were on a
God.
deserted island, who would you want to be voted off the island first? You have to answer that question.
She doesn't
If
have
you
to
don't
answer
Can I give
anything.
initials?
No.
Can I give a
if you don't
district?
here,
Can
if
I
you
give
don't
a-
answer the question, we're not giving the kids the money.
Oh
Oh my God.
You
Well,
You
I
don't
will
have to answer
say-
that.
I will say
Don't
that
answer it.
there,
there
stop.
are
People want to hear the answer to this question.
No, your question is dumb.
opportunities, I think, for former council members. And I think this individual, I pray for him. I
Yeah.
pray for his heart. I pray that someday he will get education, be less ignorant, and potentially open his eyes.
I have a feeling this table is the only table that knows who you're talking about. That
They know.
nobody else knows. So
They know.
So by the way, last call for your raffle ticket. If you want a raffle ticket,
please. We're trying to send the kids to DC.
20
It's a really big opportunity for these kids. They're going to go to the National League of Cities. They're going to come up and meet our senators. They're going to come up and meet our congressmen. We're going to plan some really fun things for them to do. They're going to get to work with other youth councils from around the country and show how bright they are and how much they shine from Cape Coral. So we really need y'all's support.
And these are all high school kids.
They are high school kids.
can I ask?
Like, are they all seniors or the
Juniors and seniors.
Can I ask
Okay.
one question?
Yeah.
I looked. No, I'm going to talk for a minute. So I looked through some of their bios, and they have some really high aspirations. It was so nice to see some of the things that they're interested in pursuing.
I know they're
And
smart.
we're so happy to be able to do anything we can to help
Yeah.
support
Thank
that.
you.
Back in the day, it used to be the Future Business Leaders of America, the FBLA.
So
It's like from the 19,
the-
I won't say.
The thing that I'm confused about is it's like there's no boys. There's all girls.
There's one
Where? I haven't seen
token
all the
young
events I went
man.
to so far. I haven't seen what's the story. The dudes are just
I
lazy.
don't know. How many meetings has he come to, children?
2. All right.
How many meetings have we had?
So raise your hand if you want to buy a raffle ticket.
Because
It's
girls
the,
rule.
it's the
That's
last.
right. Hashtag girls rule the world.
Oh boy, the last chance.
And they're dressing for success, right? Which is
Yes.
another thing that's near and dear to your
Yes,
heart.
very near and dear. Workforce development for women, especially, is very near and dear to my heart. It helps babies, it helps families, it strengthens communities. And being the executive director for that nonprofit has been an honor.
And is what keeps you up at night as a council member?
Well, lately it was the mobility fees and the budget. Those things keep me up. And then at first, like right when Councilmember Steinke asked me on the dais if I would take over as the liaison for youth council, I had a moment of panic. And I said this because I'm like, teenagers don't like me. But then I remembered, oh, that was my own. But these girls, these kids, they love me. And Councilmember Steinke did a great job. And when he handed it off to me, that kept me up at night because then I made this big announcement. We're going to go to the National League of Cities, Connie and Tom Hayden. We are going and we are going to raise the money. And they're like, great, Al. I'm like, I don't know, but we're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And to date, we have $7,400 raised from our meet and greet. And then we have another 11,900 committed woo, woo, from different groups. So we're hoping we can bring the whole tribe of them, which are 16, 14, 15.
How much is the total?
Maria, do you have a
1,700
total?
kid.
Maria's adding it up, and if you want,
1,700 a child is what we're looking for. And right now we have enough to send, I think, 11.
and
Sorry.
if you want
Out
to,
of how many?
you want to,
Sorry.
Out of 16.
you want to invite
Oh,
one of
you
them
guys
up.
are close.
You want to invite one of them up?
Come
Well,
on, youth council.
we have
Where
one mic.
are you?
Very nice. Why don't you
Come
tell
on,
us?
all of you. Come.
Tell us who's
come.
coming up to speak, and we'll
This
get
is
it.
Lexi.
Lexi, come on over.
Lexi
Sit
is
over
our
here.
chair.
All right, Lexi.
And
When I saw
these children have been amazing to work with. We had a very successful kickoff. And no. Go ahead. Y'all sit. I'll stand. So
Chair.
Lexi.
Wait, he's got to adjust. He's new at this, so.
Just
it's
keep
gonna
the
take-
microphone face to you. There you go.
Yeah.
And I'm going to turn it down.
Yep.
It's way too high. So go ahead, Jen. Introduce who we have.
Well, hi, I'm Lexi Skorzak. I'm a senior at Oasis High School. I'm the chair of this amazing group. Thank you so much for having us and helping us reach our goal. It means so much.
Great. And I see you guys speak at the council meetings. You're doing updates on all your projects. What are a couple of the projects you're working on now?
So we're really excited to announce that we're really close. So one of our projects is called Love Locks, and we're hoping to build a love-shaped structure in Cultural Park, and that where people can put put locks, and it's just like a very commemorable thing. And we just got into we have a secured person to help us build that. So hopefully that will be built in the spring. And then we're doing a mental health project as our senior project this year. And we're going to be collecting surveys from all of the 6 high schools in Cape Coral to ask students about their mental health and figure out ways we can improve. So that's where some of our projects are at right now.
And why do you want to go to Washington, D.C.?
Well, we want to go to Washington, D.C. for several reasons. I think one of the biggest strengths of this youth council is our connection, especially now that we have at least one person from every single high school. The more that we can connect with other youth councils from across the country, the more that we can learn. I think one of the biggest problems of our generation right now is like this crippling divide. And I think the more we learn from others, the more we see from other people's communities, that can only benefit ourselves.
And what are you planning to do once you graduate? Where are you going to go to school, and what do you want to pursue?
Well, I really want to go into government or law. I want to study political science. And then, well, I don't know where I'm going to go to school yet, but hopefully, my dream schools are either like UF or NYU. So we'll see.
And where do you want to go? And what do you want to do?
I'm not sure exactly. Maybe UF as well. I want to go into medicine and hopefully also go for ROTC because I'm an officer at Island Coast High School. I am the S6, so I'm in charge of like our social media and also promoting JRTC. So I honestly wasn't even planning. I came into JRTC just really doing it for the Hope credit, honestly. And then I got closer and it was so much connection. So I'm really happy there, and it's really just shown me about with the ROTC program.
Well, being a social media person is probably going to be a lot more fun than government.
Maybe.
My name is Emily Feichthaler, and I'm
Make
a
a lot
senior
more money
at
too.
Oasis High. And I hope to go into business management. The dream school is Georgetown right now, but I want to go into business because I like involving myself in a lot of management type positions, such as youth council. So I'm just hoping I can get my voice out there more.
Hi, I'm Camila Vargas, and I go to Cape Coral High School. I'm planning to go to University of Miami for finance and international business.
So that's so great to support these guys as they pursue their careers. I mean,
Yes.
we're not even that smart now, let
Yes.
alone when we were that young.
Now it's all downhill after you hit a certain age, right? So we did several kind of fundraisers over the last few weeks. We got thanks to the folks at the Pink Shell for giving us a 3-day, 2-night stay that we're going to draw for in a minute. And if you're not here, don't worry about it. We'll call you and let you know. And we also we posted it on Facebook today, and we got a lot of donations also by Venmo. So I just want you guys to know that
I'm not doing it.
Marie's about to hand you over $2,700 from
Thank
these
you so
fundraisers
much.
that we did.
That's amazing.
All right.
And let's draw a winner.
Who wants to? Why don't you draw?
It'd be great if the
can't look.
person that wins is here.
You pull it out. Oh, all right.
Yes, I kept seeing Venmo 100 here, 200 there. It's like, all right.
And the winner is Judy Olson.
Judy Olson,
Yes.
congratulations. We
So we happen to know Judy. Judy and Jeff are people
Friends of
that.
ours.
Yep, they
They
live
live
down on the beach.
they don't and
They visit down on the beach. So good for
and
them.
and they're from Wisconsin, so
And
that'll
they
be
always
great.
bring us tons of cheese and Kringle. If
Yes.
you've never had Kringle, who's
Yes.
had Kringle from up north? Yes.
Crazy.
Yes.
And lots of bratwurst. things
And
like that.
and brats. Yes.
So thank you for coming on. Jennifer, one more question for you that I forgot to ask you. Big hand for our friends from the Youth Council.
you guys are.
And just so you know, our next fundraiser will be to help the Police Athletic League. We have 4 weekend stays that we've donated to them. Apparently, there's some big Oktoberfest that takes place in Cape Coral in the end of October, and so they're going to be raffling off 4 stays and some other prizes there. So, Jennifer, the last question I wanted to ask you that I forgot to ask you was, do you believe that you get paid enough as a council member?
Oh, that's a loaded question. So I'll explain it like this. I don't think any of us who are on there now ran because of the money.
Sure.
And I know for me, like, we talk about, oh, everyone's run for mayor. Well, to make a little bit more than I make as a council member, run for mayor, you really have to be everywhere. It is a full-time job. And to work a full-time job and work another full-time job, I mean, ask my husband, I'm on the phone all the time. Sometimes he just takes my phone and puts it down because he's like, enough. And I think that if you want full-time council members, it's like the old adage, if you want good people for the positions, you need to pay more. I know me personally, I choose not to live on $40,000 a year. That's why I have another full-time job. But I work a lot.
So it's $40,000 that you get paid.
I think I like 42.
What is it that you should get paid?
I don't know. I mean, looking at what they did last time with the stipend and how they looked at other councils and they looked at other cities that were the same size. I know that 75,000 and 100,000 was something that was discussed and passed, and they made additional revenue that way, which I don't necessarily blame them for that. I think the issue with the stipend was the way that it was handled. If you had put it on a ballot, many council members would say, well, nobody will approve it. But I will say, when I knocked on those doors, and if anybody brought up the stipend, they would say, we have no issue paying you more. Put it on a ballot and let us vote for it. So I hope in the future that happens because we all work a lot of hours.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
totally a full-time job.
I mean,
In
it
this city,
is.
totally
It
a
is.
full-time
And being the mayor, you have to be everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
our mayor's fortunate in that he has his own business and he has people he can delegate things to. But I mean, look at his calendar. He's everywhere.
And not everybody's in that position.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right, big hand for Jennifer Nelson, everybody, and she'll be running for District 4 next year. And we appreciate you coming on, Jennifer. Before we get to our next guest, Sean is going to come down. Sean Carter, I just want to tell everybody, I didn't know he was going to be here, but Sean is our first actual signed sponsor. And thank you, Jennifer. And we want to give him a little shout out and have him tell everybody about his business. Sean is going, you're going to see his ad running on our website and our newsletter, and also I'll be talking about him every week for the next few weeks. So Sean, tell everybody what you do, and we appreciate you being our first sponsor.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm very excited about being a sponsor. And well, I'm a mortgage loan originator here locally. I have basically different mortgage products I offer, ranging from first-time home buyers all the way to self-employed people. I'm a problem solver, so like if somebody needs a mortgage, my referral partners have pretty much gotten used to the fact that I'm the guy that can figure out a way to make it happen. So communication's a big thing with me. I communicate with my people all the way from title company to borrowers and everybody in between. So it's real important. Kind of how I built my business is communication.
And how do people reach you?
Well, I have a website. I have my website. I have CarterGetsLoans.com is my URL.
CarterGetsLoans.com.
Yeah, because my one from the company is kind of hard to remember.
Sure.
So that way I have a redirect so people can always find me.
And do you have a phone number?
Oh, I need to speak up closer.
You're good. You
Yeah,
have a phone number?
my phone number is 574-320-4840.
Yeah, you might want to put that on the ad for me to read it the next time, just so I know how to people can get in touch with you. So, but thank you, and we appreciate you coming on and coming to the show.
Thank
so
you very much. Appreciate it.
And just so everybody knows, big hand for Sean. We are a business. We are starting out. This is our 4th episode. We started on Fort Myers Beach with 9 followers 7 years ago. We now have 2 shows, 132,000 followers on Facebook, and a newsletter and a website. So we're going to be here every Friday as long as Kyle and Dawn will have us. And we have a great lineup of guests. See, dear, this is when the next guest comes up, and you're helping. Where did she go? Is she in the ladies' room or something? Our next guest is Nicole. Nicole, come on down. There she is, fixing her hair like she does in between every guest. But just so you guys know, our lineup of guests for next week, we have Council Member Joe Kilrain. Joe, wave to everybody over there. And on October 10th, we have 3 candidates for District Number 1, Monica Shintani, Tom Senator, and Sean Hartman. And then on the 17th, we have Ray Mule. I think Ray is here, right? And there's Ray over there. And we have another person that's about to announce. Oh, very nice. All right, so let's tell everybody all about. Nicole is from a company called All Abilities Play, which is something everybody should hear about, especially the town folks that are
It's
here
not really
tonight.
a company. It's really a 501(c)(3). Yeah.
Tell
So
everybody-
tell us about All Abilities.
So, All Abilities is a community-driven project that was started because I have a son that has a disability. And when I started taking him to parks, I found that there was 0 inclusive playgrounds within the city. So I got a committee together, and we decided that we needed to approach the city to see how we could change that. To make a playground that could accommodate children and adults with all different types of abilities.
So not just folks that might be in a wheelchair or kids that are in a wheelchair, but somebody who might be blind or deaf or all sorts of issues.
Correct. Not just physical disabilities, but cognitive disabilities, people with sensory processing disorders, people that are blind, deaf, anything you can think of, that's who we're looking to accommodate.
And so where are you looking to put this?
Currently, right now, the proposed location is Lake Mead, which is in the North Cape off of Kismet and Del Prado. Right now, we are working with Joe Petrella, the Parks Director, and that is the proposed location based on size that we would need for something like this.
And how is that project getting funded?
So currently, we are trying to raise $1 million to help fund it.
Wow.
In addition to that, a playground like this costs somewhere about $2.5 to $3 million. So our goal is to raise $1 million and to have the city contribute $1.5 million towards that, in addition to the land. We were supposed to put that into the 2026 budget, but it did get cut. So we are hoping that in the 2027 proposed budget, it could be put in that budget.
So
With it being 1.5 million, that's a 0.1% out of the budget.
So did you talk to somebody? Obviously, you have connections at the city, and they're trying to help you with this already?
So who I've been dealing with the most is Joe Petrella, the Parks Director, but obviously he can't do the finance part of it. So it's all going to come down to city council voting and the city manager being on board for this to come to our community. And just getting the word out there, because like I said, we need to also raise money to go with this because this is a huge project. Equipment like this costs a lot of money. Just the surfacing alone is $500,000 to $700,000 just for the surface without any pieces of equipment.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And you're going to be looking at like swings, merry-go-rounds. What other stuff will be there?
Good question. So
Thank you.
The different types.
I get a bell for that.
There's different types of equipment that can accommodate everybody, not just children with disabilities. So there are specialized swings that you can roll a person with a wheelchair on, but then there's also space where another child or a sibling or a parent can play with them. They have merry-go-rounds that are also built into the ground that can be a child or somebody with a leg limp different than a prosthetic can get onto it easily, but other kids can also play on it. They have different sensory tunnels. You need calming spaces. We need signs for people who are nonverbal, because right now, when you go to a playground, if a child is nonverbal or they're blind, there's no way they can communicate to their loved ones where they want to go in the park because there's no signage.
How many?
So signs with Braille. And the other thing I was reading that I thought was so interesting is if someone has a cochlear implant, if they're deaf and they have a cochlear implant, they have to have a special slide because the other slides will interfere with that implant.
Yes, that is correct. So traditional plastic slides cause interference, static interference. So children who have, or adults that have cochlear implants cannot go down a regular slide. They need a special slide to be able to participate. So that's why this playground means a lot to me, and it's going to do a lot for our community because there's so many aspects to it, not just a few pieces of equipment put here and there. And we have a committee that is built up of a physical therapist, an occupational therapist, a special ed teacher of 25 years, and parents like myself that have loved ones with disabilities. And we want the citizens' feedback and input on things that would accommodate them and their loved ones.
How many kids in Cape Coral do you think need this kind of playground?
So I don't know specific to Cape Coral, but I do know that the Lee County School District has 16,000 students that are in special ed classes that could obviously utilize this. It's a 16% of the students. And then our Suncoast region actually has the largest number of people on the MedWave program, which is mostly people who are fully disabled. So this area has 9,000 people enrolled in that program. It's more than Tampa, Miami, and Orlando, in addition to a wait list of 3,500 people.
Oh, yeah.
Who's your favorite
That
town?
wait
Who's your
list is
favorite
long.
city council member?
Oh, dear.
Well, I don't have a favorite, but I did meet Jennifer Nelson before
Yeah.
she was elected, and she's kind of been helping guide me on who to talk to,
Yeah.
where to go.
Was
I've
she-
also spoke with some state representatives also
Yeah.
about this.
Was Jennifer much nicer before she got elected, or is she the same person after all the fame she has now? Yeah.
She's the same old Jennifer.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I mean, I think the other thing too, and you've said this, but it's worth repeating, is that it's a playground. It's not a playground for kids with special needs. It's a playground. It's an inclusive environment for everybody to come together. Because you have a son.
Yes.
You also have another son who
Correct.
doesn't have.
Yes, but this is a prime example from community outreach. When people see what we're trying to do, I have been on the news, I have been in some newspaper articles, and I've had a husband reach out to me, and he said his wife is blind, and he said, we have a child that is not blind, and my wife cannot take our child to the park because it is not accessible for her. So she is being robbed of making memories with her child because it's not accessible for her.
So how?
So it's for grandparents too.
Yeah. Did
Well-
you say that aimed at us? Is that what
Yeah.
you? Is that what you
No,
just?
but a lot of grandparents have walkers and canes, and if the surface and the facility is not accessible, then they're not being able to take their loved ones to the playground also.
So how can people get in touch with you or find out more about your
So
organization?
you can follow our page we're on Facebook and Instagram, and we will constantly be updating information on there. We also have a website which you can access from there. We need people to share this to get the word out. We need businesses to help sponsor this because we really do need this for our community.
Give out the
We do have some flyers here
Okay.
that have a QR code and some more information. So Eileen over here that's helping with the project has those flyers.
Sweet.
Anything else?
No, let's just do this for our community. Everybody needs to come together and make Cape Coral the best it can be. This
And
is
it's
going to be
it's
a
a
destination.
not-for-profit, so
It
people
is a
can get.
non-for-profit.
You can
Yeah.
get. It's tax deductible.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Great.
It's a tax deductible.
Well, thank you so much, Nicole.
much for
having
Let us
me.
know
Thank
anything
you for
else you
being
need.
so
Thank you very
patient.
much. Big hand for Nicole, everybody. We have 5 minutes before we have to do anything, so I'm going to do something a little off the cuff. Mayor, would you come over for a few minutes? Mayor Gunter, come on down. Yeah,
You need me here? I'm gonna go help pass.
go ahead. You can help pass out. Ladies and gentlemen, your mayor, and I want to let you know that yesterday was the mayor's birthday. Happy birthday, Mayor. So really, I came up to ask you how old you are now.
Oh, I'm a young 62.
62
That's
years
what I
old.
keep telling myself.
So while you're up here, thank you for coming. By the way, really appreciate you. You guys, you brought the whole crew, the whole tables here all the time.
Coming up.
Yeah. So I really wanted to pick your brain as to why on the mobility fees, why were you opposed to what the other five, without getting into the weeds of the whole thing, why were you opposed to the setup the way the other five were ready to approve it?
I guess what I was looking for, I wanted the 12.5% consistently. I think when I was here a few weeks ago, I thought we had talked about that topic. I was looking for some consistency over time. For me personally, if we do 12.5% for the next 10 years, I'm okay with that. I think that, it's important. One of the things that Councilmember Nelson had touched on, one of the things that I think over the last 20 years that probably every council member has run on was bringing more commercial tax base into the city. And if you look back, we've struggled with that.
Mhm.
And I think that one of the things that we have to make sure that we do, we don't want to adopt policies that could actually make that worse. And I thought for myself, mobility fees could be one of those mechanisms that could hamper future commercial growth. We all know residentially, we have no problem.
Mhm.
I know it's declined a little bit, but we had about 5,000 permits a year residentially that we pull. But commercial was more so my concern.
So do you, will the the residents have to pay more? Are you worried about the millage rate for the residents having to pick up some of the slack to cover the cost of the projects?
Yeah, I think what you have to do, what most people don't realize when you talk about mobility fees, it's based on a mobility plan. And because of our state legislation and the October 1st deadline, it really hampered us to have a complete, thorough discussion, at least I felt for myself. And because when you look at that mobility plan, I know there are certain things in that plan that probably would never become fruition. It would never happen. When you look at the mobility plan, there's only a small portion of that that has to do with road improvements, capacity increases.
Sure. Of the $2 billion, what's the dollar amount?
Well, I think that if you look at it, probably only a third of it was
Okay.
really for road improvement and capacity needs.
And do you think that even though it's a third of the $2 billion, that would be covered by the mobility fees at the increase?
I think what you have to do is you have to find that balance where we don't hamper commercial development in the future, because we always are competing with Fort Myers, Lee County, North Fort Myers. And I can't tell you how many developers have walked through the door to have a discussion that says, hey, we're interested in doing project X that may be $100 million project, but we don't have water and sewer, or we don't have some other infrastructure. So we have to find that balance to be able to, I think for me, water and sewer is crucial. We have to get
Sure.
that done in our city as quick as possible, because that will bring the development.
So one more time, do you think the millage is going to have to go up to cover that 1/3?
I think what's going to happen over time, if we can promote more development. The other thing I look at is the big picture. You want to try to bring in commercial development, because what does that do? That brings in more ad valorem taxes. To me, that's a bigger piece of the pie than the mobility fee. The mobility fee is a one-time fee. And if we hamper commercial construction, what we could do is hamper the bigger dollars, the ad valorem taxes that'll be generated because of that commercial project. So I look at the holistic picture, the bigger picture, that I think is more important.
You guys also passed the budget last night. Are you happy with the number in the budget that it came out to be?
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you, when I took office, the millage rate, if I recall correctly, was about 6.75 mils, and we're down to 5.1 now. And that's happened over the last 7 years. It wasn't because of me. It was because of the collective body of the councils over the year. So we have really decreased our taxes over the years. A lot of people will make an argument that, hey, my taxes are still going up because the assessed values are going up.
Right.
But that's good for them.
Yeah.
But we are constantly decreasing our millage rate. So I'm happy that we went to the rollback rate.
You still feel comfortable about the crossing the finish line with J.C. Park?
Yeah, I mean, like Councilmember Nelson mentioned, J.C. Park, the contractor has until April to get that project completed. The most recent discussion, I think the contractor's goal is February. I think when that particular project is completed, it's going to be another gem in our city. And, I remember years ago, people complaining about Tarpon Point. Oh, you're just destroying our city with that development. Now you go down there, it's beautiful. That's one of the probably 2 or 3 places that we take our visitors when they come to visit us as a family. So I think J.C. Park's going to be the same way once it's completed.
And last topic, 2 more questions. The boathouse is gone. That whole thing is in the rearview mirror now. Did the Kearns Group tell you what their timetable was to break ground and to go through permitting and to get back open?
I talked to Zach last week, and his goal was to try to get all the structural drawings. That's what they're working on now, to get everything they need for a permit application. And they're aggressively moving forward with that. He's hoping that by the first of the year to be able to apply for his permit. And I know that he is probably just as eager as anyone to get that project off the ground. And I think if anyone will get that project turned around and get those doors open, he's the guy that'll make sure it gets done.
You're in the industry. What does it take? Like 6 months or a year to build?
Yeah, I think he'll, if he can get that project completed in 12 months, that'll be pretty good.
Cool.
You know, if somebody said, hey, how long would it take? I would say after the permit's issued, 12 to 18 months. I think he's trying to stay more towards that 12 months, but you know, I know he's eager to get it open, and I'm pretty sure he'll have everything lined up where he can get it done as quick as possible.
And lastly, you announced that you are going to run for mayor again. Do you have an official announced party date that you've scheduled yet?
It'll probably be after the first of the
After
year.
the
That's
first
what
of
I
the year.
did last time.
All right. Thank you for coming on.
All right. Have
Off
a
the
good
cuff
day.
there. Big hand for your mayor, everybody, and a happy birthday to the mayor. We appreciate him coming on like that. Yeah. And lastly, before we get out of here, I want to again thank our sponsor, our brand new sponsor, for coming in. And please stop by and say hi to Sean. And our first 5 sponsors, their ads are locked. Their ad rates are locked in for life because you're committing to us at the beginning when we're just starting out. And we'll be there when we have 131,000 followers for you too. So thank you all for coming to Hooked Island Grill. We got some great music lined up afterward. And we'll see you next Friday here with council member Joe Kilrain will be our guest for the hour. Big hand, everybody. Thank you for coming, and you have a great weekend. Bye-bye.